was great to see Pat again. I'm a big Pat fan. I think he does a terrific job, and obviously very familiar from the Big Ten Penn State days. But I knew they would give us they play with an edge. They play with an aggression that his teams always did. I knew they'd be well coached. They're disciplined in what they do in terms of the defensive side of things and handling, with their ices, and we didn't get that in the first game. So I was very curious to see what that looked like. They're also a team that had 25 offensive rebounds in their first game. They play hard. That's a staple of his. But I was very pleased with our first half. I thought we were really good on the defensive side. I thought we were aggressive. I thought we did a good job of chest and shooters, forced them into a lot of really hard twos. And then I thought we were able to get stops and rebounds for the most part. And that got us out in transition. And we finally found a little bit of a groove. I thought, even though we got off to a good start, I thought we found a really nice groove attacking their switches, attacking their ices. And, between Kylan, Keaton, Merck in the first half, I thought we were pretty solid there. And then obviously Z was pretty special on the defensive side with 7 blocks, 9 rebounds. But I challenged Kylan before the game to get 10 rebounds and or more, and he got 10. We need guard rebounding, and it's a special night for him. I thought he played great. It's amazing when you go worry about something else, how the ball finds the bottom of the basket, but there wasn't much they could do with him in their switching, him getting downhill in the paint. They tried to go under a few times. He hit shots we practice every day, those step back threes. And when it wasn't that, it was Keaton, finding his way into the paint, getting fouled. I love the fact that those guys got to the line. So all in all, it was, it ended up being a solid night. I thought we got a little sloppy. My hat's off to their kid number 20 got cooking a little bit but, in the second half. But that'll be a very, very good team in the ASUN, and wish them nothing but the best as their season moves forward.
Coach, any details you can provide on Tommy's injury and how long he might be out?
Lower body, just waited to go through all the scans and MRIs and what we do, and we'll thankful that it's not season ending.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on Drake, just his return to making his debut. Just want to get your thoughts on this play tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was. It's great to see him out there. He still hasn't completed a full practice with us all year, so his time's been limited. We knew that there would be some shorter stints. Worked out great that we got to play him as many minutes as we did. But I thought the first half he was, sped up a little fast, maybe a little anxious, trying to do a little much. And then the second half, I thought he just found a nice rhythm. He let the ball come back to him. He made some nice plays. You saw his ability to attack a mismatch. And I thought he competed defensively. I told him at the half I wouldn't put him back in if he didn't rebound better, at least go. But he did a lot of really good things. I was glad the 3 went late, and I thought he made some great pass to Justin. and made nice reads, but I thought he settled in quite nicely in the second half, and after being out there for the first time in a long time was pretty nice to see.
Kylan said that he felt like maybe he wasn't aggressive enough in the opener in maybe a couple different areas. Did you maybe see that from him? Is that why you challenged him to rebound?
I thought he was really good offensively. I thought he took what the game gave him, and I didn't think he forced anything on that side of things. I always think that in transition, you know, Kylan's a guy that I love his free throw attempts. I mean, that's downhill, and when you're as powerful and explosive as he is, that's something he can excel at, is getting fouled. And you know, and again tonight it was just a matter of their defense, the way they switched, the way they chose to play him. He just took what the game gave him. But you know, the only thing he did that I didn't really care for was the foul right before half. He was pretty good otherwise.
Brad, just one quick one before I follow up. Do you expect Tommy to miss some time here?
I think we'll know more, but I would expect him to miss a little bit. I don't know what that looks like.
So what's that mean to see Z have his night and to see what Mirkovic has done, you know, for you so far?
Well, I think we've got pretty good players there. You know, I think that, you know, it was nice to see Z impact the game in other ways. I've been really challenging him on the glass. I think he's had 9 in both games. It's been nice to see him do other things other than his just shoot threes. He's got a lot of arsenal in his game where he can be that shot blocker. And I mean, he was second in the SEC in block shot rate. We saw a little bit of that. It was just an aggressive mindset from Z tonight that I liked. Merck's always that way. But I thought that, you know, Jason, Ben, you know, all those guys are different, and they can all do different things. But it's been nice to see that, and you know, we'll see where everything ends up with Tommy. The one thing I know about Tommy, he's maybe as tough as any kid that I've coached, and it was you know, he's going to do everything in his power to be back as soon as soon as he can. We'll see. We'll just, so I don't put anything by him.
Brad, last year by tempo stats, it was your fastest team in Illinois. It's only been 2 games, but you're already at a faster pace this year than last year. Is that something that you're really stressing as far as making this offense go?
Yes and no. What we're trying to do is play into actions faster. And that will slow down some when we face different type defenses. But we're trying to get into actions. We're trying to never let the defense relax. We're trying to run even after a make, just to get to space, to keep our spacing, and then get into actions quicker, so we have opportunities to exploit that. But I've been really pleased with that. But again, I think that, you know, you've got to expect a little different tempo as we keep moving on.
What is it about Keaton and David's games that's allowed them to look so much more advanced than most freshmen at this point?
I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. I think it's their upbringing. I think it's their coaching they've had throughout. I think it's, you know, it's a basketball feel and sense that you sometimes you're born with, but they're very much mature beyond their years, and their pace is so. I'm not going to say lethargic, but it's just because it's the right pace. They just don't get sped up. That's very unusual for freshmen, and you know, they both have great body control and they both have incredible vision. So, and they're, to be quite honest, they're both great teammates because they're very willing passers.
Andre, was a game time decision, and he ended up going 23 minutes. So how do you think he handled that from a physical standpoint?
I'll know more on that tomorrow. it's not about what he's in the moment. It's how his knee reacts after. You know, we've been monitoring what he's done in practice pretty close, so we don't overexert that. And while he's in practice, he looks great. And then it's after that we have some of the areas that we've got to be watchful of. So we'll see how that went, but I thought it was you know, I'd hoped somewhere between 16 and 22 tonight. I think we got in 23, which I was glad to see, and I thought we, you know, got a couple stints in the first half, and then we're able to leave them in a little longer in the second.
The FGCU came out and started very physical in the first half. How do you think you're able to respond to that and possibly benefit from it?
Well, the Florida scrimmage helped, because the Florida scrimmage was an absolute bloodbath. That was maybe as physical as anything I've been a part of on the basketball court. So I knew that's Pat's teams. Pat's teams played with just tremendous edge, as Penn State teams had that edge and that fight and that nasty and you know, they won very easily in the first one, and you know, coming in here that he would have them ready. So I was very happy we responded in a positive way in terms of match that and really exceeded it.
You spoke about the ice coverage and how that was the first time you guys have seen that this season. Just how did you feel about Keaton and also Kyle and how they hit it?
Well, it's not the first, because Florida did it, and we were able to really hurt them in that coverage. Now, Florida Gulf Coast rotated a little differently than Florida did on the backside. They got into some pretty hard rotations. But once we started cutting, we found some nice cutters, emptied out of sight a little bit. But yeah, Pat's teams have always done that. You know, I thought our ability to space, and even though Merck and those guys didn't get a lot of threes up from the top of the key, tonight it was just the next action that we found, which ended up being a lot of switching, which I thought we've been very, very good at attacking switching.
As you went about maybe making some tweaks to your defense heading into the season, how much did having a guy like Z who could maybe go block 7, bother as many, kind of influence what you were trying to do?
Yeah, it was, you know, you always think the best until you find out otherwise, and we knew we had positional size and length, and then Z's just a different guy. We haven't had one in 9 years. Kofi wasn't that. Kofi couldn't block shots, and I looked. He was phenomenal. He was a Waldo, and Z can go. Z can literally start a fast break, you know, with his ability to block shots, and you know, there's no telling how many he deterred tonight just by his presence. So we'd hope that would be the case, but it's nice to have it.
What do you like about how Kylan and Keaton complement each other and just what those guys can be together as a backcourt for you?
Yeah, you know, Kylan does an unbelievable job of coaching Keaton and helping him and talking through him. And you know, Keaton's just a sponge. He just absorbs everything. You never see him get too rattled. You know, he shrugs off getting his Adam's apple crushed on that play, and you know, he just steps up there and makes 2 free throws, and he's just kind of a resilient soul. You know, he just kind of takes it all in and plays, and they're different. I think Kylan's been a big help to him on the defensive side. You know, Keaton just takes what the game gives him on the offensive side. He never's in any panic. He's not a gunner. He's not a high volume guy, you know, until he needs to be. So you know, he's just it's been a pretty good duo to this point.
4 offensive rebounds for Keaton in each of the first 2 games. Is that something he came in with this summer, or something you've really seen him try to work on?
No, it's been a major point of emphasis to get him to do that. And again, he's not knocking his old coach. They won many games, but it's just different. And it was the same thing with Kasparos and Will, just getting guys to go. and he's got such a knack. He's got good size, and he's in the paint all the time, and you know it's you know, he's got really strong and really quick hands, and when he gets his hands on him, it's hard to take it away from him. So, but we work on it daily.
An unusual stat with them only turning it over one time. What's it say, right? And they still weren't, and they still,
It's not unusual.
and they still weren't all that efficient. What's it say about your defense? That, you can hold them, to low efficiency, only
Oh,
turning them over.
their turnover.
Yeah,
yeah.
their turnovers.
Thought you were talking about Keaton, because he never turns it over. But yeah, it's a weird stat. You know, I think that it's, I don't know, maybe block shots make up for the difference. Maybe it looks different because of the block shots, but they've got really solid guard play. They run good stuff, but I thought we guarded them pretty well. They just didn't turn it over very much. That's why I think they'll be really good.
Brad, through 2 games now, what have you learned about this team in live action that maybe you didn't know going in?
You know, I think we're showing an incredible ability to want to be better. And, you know, it's been crazy how resilient they've become. You know, I think we've got a long way to go. I think a long way to go. I think there's areas we've got to continue to work and get better, but, you know, I like who they are as people. I like their competitive spirit. You know, obviously, it's 2 games in and there's a lot left, but, and I think offensively, you know, I don't get too wrapped up in the numbers or the points, and but I do think we've started to see some tendencies that we like, and I think we've also seen some things where we feel like we've got to continue to get better, and that will help us, and you know, as some of the other guys get back.
All the way back.
Brad, talk about how Kylan's basketball IQ has evolved over the course of his time here. What about him has developed to enable him to influence the game when he is off the ball?
Yeah, I think he's always had IQ. I think he's always had good feel. He's had good coaching throughout his process. He's always played at a very high level. You know, the thing that's crazy with Kylan is he's 20, and he's a senior, and he's done this in an expedited way. So it's his upbringing. I think that now you see his confidence that comes from being in a system and knowing exactly what's expected of him every single day. And we've tried to empower that and demand it. I love coaching him because I can really coach him. I can really get on him, and I love his competitive spirit. And he shows up every day and works hard, so it translates, permeates, whatever word you want to use, through our team, that competitive spirit. So, and then he's not afraid to open his mouth, and he's not afraid to communicate with others, and that's a sign of a good leader. And it's a lot of positives there.
Got time for 2 more. Jeremy will be first, then we have another.
Brad, last year you had to deal with all the illnesses. This year you're dealing with the injuries. What did you learn from last year to how to handle that as a coach or handle that as a team?
Well, it's one of the things I'm not very good at, and that's having patience. You know, I think that it was a little bit, you're going to go through them. Every team's going to go through them. And the year before we had TJ, and you're going to go through stretches and have things for different reasons. And so for me, it's all about just controlling what I can literally control. And that's the guys I have every single day, and getting them to do their best. And if I sit there and dwelled every night and went to bed thinking about, oh my gosh, we're without Tommy, and oh my gosh, Brandon's, you know, and I would never get any sleep. And so I think I've matured from that side of things. I don't say what if, and I know that even though there's some hard times or uncomfortable things right now, that we're gonna be better on the other side of it. And, you know, we've kind of talked to our team, you know, it's that next man up mentality. So, they're all here, they're good players, there's a reason they're here, and now they've got opportunities to go step up and handle it.